MGF Customs and Reviews.
What's going on, guys? It's Michael MGF, and today I'm going to be doing another LEGO Star Wars Summer 2013 set review. And this time I've got the Homing Spider Droid. The set number for this one is 75016. The recommended ages are 7 through 12, and the piece count, which is not pictured on the box, is 211. And this set is really awesome. The rest of the Summer 2013 line is now hitting Toys R Us's. Literally, these sets are flooding Toys R Us's nationwide. So if you want these sets, screw Bricklink, no more ordering from overseas. These sets are finally here in the US. My Toys R Us in particular will be getting them around this weekend, so that's really good. Correction, I just went to my Toys R Us and they have all the new sets. But this set is really great as it retails for $29.99, and that's a very reasonable price as you get a total of 4 minifigures, a awesome and actually quite large Spider Droid, and the Dwarf Spider Droid. So really the value is fair here, and I definitely recommend the set, but let's continue the review to find out why. Stasa Lee is actually the cousin of Adi Gallia, who is also a famous Jedi. And you might remember this Jedi from being shot down on Seleucami by Commander Neo. So the head on Stasa Lee is actually completely new, of course, as this is the debut of the character. And you can see she has her signature purple eyes printed on, which is very nice. And one complaint, though, about the head is the fact that I don't think she would be going as Spider Droid with a happy face on. But I mean, other than that, it's a very nice head. And you can see on the back of the head, there is actually a large section of printing there, and honestly it's kind of pointless. There's really no reason for it because when you put her headdress on, it doesn't really make that much of a difference, if any difference at all. Her headdress is actually made of rubber and is not hard plastic, which is perfectly okay. As you can see, it has a great deal of printing on it, and the light gray, dark tan, and dark brown colors really came to life on the headpiece there, and it looks fantastic. And there's a look at the back of it and the interior, and going ahead and putting it back on her head. I think she would appreciate if I give it back. The torso printing is quite nice. It is very awesome, aside from the fact that this pouch right here, which extends down to her belt piece, kind of cuts off. And I guess it's a sacrifice that the LEGO group was willing to make in order to get that printing to continue down to the belt piece. And lifting up her headdress a little bit, or actually pulling it out, you can see all that detail and torso there. Very nice Jedi robe, and it looks great. And look at that utility belt, also a great deal of detail. The printing on her belt piece continues down on the legs, and you can see the printing on the legs right here is where it cuts off, and you can see it really complements the minifigure in a great way and really supports the overall consistency of her outfit. The printing on the back is also quite phenomenal, and unlike the pouch on the front, the utility belt on her back here, or actually just a continuation of the utility belt on her back, the pouch is not cut off due to any sort of printing defect. So overall, a great minifigure, and with the new headpiece, that just kind of says we'll probably get Adi Gallia in the future. Phase 1 clone troopers are always great to get in these 2013 sets, but the gun right here with the Technic rod on the end of it, it's really getting out of hand with these. I really hope the LEGO group stops using them because it just weighs down the figure and is totally pointless, and if you look at the gun, it looks better without it. So I can't say I support the idea of having a connector on the end of their rifles. I've always been a super big fan of the Attack of the Clones look on the Clone Wars animated helmet. It really did work out great and looks just like the Clone Wars clone troopers, or just the clone troopers from Attack of the Clones. One small problem with infantry clone troopers in various LEGO Star Wars sets is they don't have leg printing. The torso is really nice, and with all the accuracy, a great looking utility belt, it really pulls off the distinction of your basic clone trooper. And the exact same can be said for the back of the torso. The facial expression on the head is fantastic, and you can see the aggressive tone that it gives off is portrayed quite nicely. And we get the standard Super Battle Droid, and man, I wonder if the day will ever come that we get an updated version of the Battle Droids, as does anyone feel like they're getting a bit old? One thing I really do miss is those rocket arms we used to get on the Super Battle Droids. It's something that I really did like, and it's kind of a shame that I don't even know if we'll get them in another LEGO Star Wars set. Of course, the legs can be detached from the torso, and the same can be said for each arm, if you didn't already know that about the Super Battle Droids, or just the Battle Droids in general. And here's a look at the back. If you missed it before, you do actually get 2 Super Battle Droids with this set. The Dwarf Spider Droid is absolutely awesome, and it's not a vehicle we get a lot, so it's really great to see it again. What I really like about this is how accurate it is to an actual Dwarf Spider Droid. But you can see that the cannon on the front here, it is very nice looking, and you can see it does bend up and down. Right there is as far as it can go when you go push it up, and then it does go this far down, and that is pretty much the limit for its posability, aside from the fact that it can bend right there with a simple little hinge piece. The dome on its head is completely rotatable. It's a little bit hard to turn it, so I'm not going to, turn it that much, even though apparently it's cooperating with me now. You can see that the antenna on top of its head is, of course, it can bend. Who hasn't seen these pieces before? It can also rotate 360, but, I mean, why does that really matter? It's just honestly a form of attaching it to the dome itself. The legs on the Dwarf Spider Droid are very posable, and each leg is attached to this one center piece, and we tend to see these pieces a lot on Droidicas, but each leg actually has 3 points of articulation, and you can see all the articulation right here. You've got 1 point here, the joint to follow right there, and then the last one there for its foot. So definitely a very, very posable little Dwarf Spider Droid. Now, something that I kind of have to complain about is the legs. They kind of lack tiles. You could easily put a 1x2 tile on any of them, and they are a little bit too posable. They have 3 points of articulation, and if you barely put any pressure on it, it ruins the pose, and that's very frustrating. Perhaps not for playability, but for people like me who are trying to review it here, it's a little bit of a pain. So you can see that the eyes are also very nice, as they utilize that telephone piece with 2 translucent red studs on it. You can see that is also quite posable. This whole like Spider Droid is very posable. It's a very nice rendition of the Dwarf Spider Droid. And then you can see the back of it is also quite nice, and it does have one of those clear 1x2, actually 2x2 cylinder pieces on the bottom of it, just to ensure that it doesn't fully collapse when the legs go a little bit out of control, like I was explaining. You can see what's something interesting about it is it does actually utilize droid bodies for the leg design, so that's always interesting when LEGO is a little bit more inventive with their designs. Alright, so now onto the homing Spider Droid itself. And who remembers the days when we were on Battlefront 2, playing on Geonosis, riding these things around? Man, that was fun, and just made the vehicle more memorable for me, because obviously they weren't really in the prequels for that long. The accuracy on this is phenomenal. It really captures the likeness of the homing Spider Droid from Attack of the Clones in a great way, and all of the updates really do the original design justice, and not to mention the accuracy, but the fact that this is great for playability. A feature that was very noticeable that wasn't previously on the other variation of the homing Spider Droid is the fact that the top of the dome here can actually rotate a full 360 degrees. And I'm not sure if that's accurate or not. I would assume it is, but it is definitely a very cool feature indeed. What happened? And you can see the eyes. The eye is actually completely redone. It's not like exactly the most intense update, but it is still really cool, as it is more accurate with the 3 translucent red studs rather than just a translucent red disc like the previous homing Spider Droid variant. Right away, you can tell the LEGO group really made an effort to ensure that this thing is very posable. The homing Spider Droid is posable right there, and as you can see, this is as far as each pair of legs can swivel, and then there are hinges on either leg so that they can bend back and forth. And then on the feet, you have a little joint to ensure that they can also be extremely flimsy, but for a reason, and not flimsy in a bad way, as they are very well secured on there, but just to make sure that it is easy to stand up. Now, unfortunately, the turret on the bottom can only rotate back and forth, and it goes just about that far, and it does not rotate at all whatsoever, and that is quite disappointing, as that would have been awesome. But then you can see the little tube feature right on the turret here. It's definitely very interesting, and it looks pretty awesome. So pretty cool feature there. However, that tube does have a tendency of popping off quite a bit. Now, the playability feature, the primary one here on the top of the homing spider droid's dome, is pretty nice and it's very functional, but it's just a flick fire missile, and it's a little bit unrealistic considering when you shoot it, the homing spider droid no longer has his main gun, and it's kind of like a lizard losing its tail. It just isn't right. And though it's a nice playability feature, it's just downright inaccurate and just a little strange. But other than that, you can see the piping on the back of it is also very nice. And unlike the bottom turret, that tubing piece right here does not break off at all whatsoever. So that is definitely awesome. The legs, where to begin with these? I mean, they're nice and all, they look nice, but they are just really, they're just not capable of supporting this vehicle in a standing position. And sure, if you bend them like back and forth, it does mimic a nice walking effect, but I mean, generally, when you try to get this thing to stand, it can be a pain. And of course, like I said, right when I'm showing you guys it on camera, it's working fine because it knows it's being recorded. But you can see the main joints for it are right here. These two little connectors allowing the couple legs to bend back and forth, and then the actual legs themselves independently can bend back and forth as well. So that's very nice. And then the feet also have a decent amount of articulation. They are very flimsy, and obviously there's a reason for that. A reason being to try to attempt to support it standing up. And of course it works when I'm showing you guys. I mean, of course, but I mean, off camera, it did that. But anyway, there's really not much else to the homing spider droid. I mean, if you can get it to stand up, it'll look great in mocks, it'll look great on display, but I mean, I couldn't imagine trying to do stop motion with this thing. It's just, it can be a real bastard, and excuse my French, it's very frustrating when it doesn't stand. But there's the homing spider droid. I mean, I kind of wish they redid the design of the legs, as it's pretty much the same as the previous.
So have you seen one of those spider droids out there yet? No, but I heard they're extremely durable and hard to take down. I hope I never encounter one.
So the box is actually fairly long, and I mean, it's honestly, it's really cool looking. The graphic on it is fantastic. It really does nicely represent the Battle of Geonosis from Attack of the Clones, and you can see it has the little box right here displaying all the minifigures that are included with this set, and it says new right next to Stassa Lee, as this is the debut of the character made in Lego. And then you can see the top of the box does utilize Stassa Lee as well for the actual size reference, and then you can see the back of the box does have all the features which I just showed you, and along with 2 action shots, which is also very cool. And the action shots are definitely a nice implementation to the LEGO Star Wars line. And then you can see the side of the box there. And funny story that I want to go over that my buddy JPO97 Studios actually pointed out. A link to his channel will be in the description below. Is the fact that these sets, they actually open on the sides with the American versions, because the American versions are obviously just hitting Toys R Us nationwide, and the boxes for the European versions, they don't just open off on the sides. You have to actually like cut this whole flap open and then just lift it up. With the American versions, you can actually just open up the sides. I'm not sure if that's exclusive to America only, but it's just something I found to be very frustrating, because it's actually pretty hard to open these boxes when they don't open from the side. And when I say hard to open them, it's hard to open them, you know, cleanly, where they don't even look opened. But yeah, so just something I wanted to point out that I found to be very interesting about the boxes with the LEGO Star Wars Summer 2013 line. This set comes with a lot of useful extra pieces. As you can see, we've got antennas here, we've got extra lightsaber hilts, we've got this neck piece, which is always awesome to get extras of these. We've got a rod, we've got this piece, studs, connectors, the whole 9 yards here. We get a lot of extra pieces, and I don't know why. I really feel like this piece should have gone somewhere and I'm missing it. I don't know, but I mean, it appears to be an extra piece, so that's why I've got it included in this little bundle here, and definitely awesome when you get a lot of extra pieces. The instruction book is fairly average. It's a 46-page build, nothing really too insane, but then at the end of it, you've got the checklist for the whole LEGO Star Wars Summer 2013 line, of course excluding the 2 exclusive sets, and man, I am looking forward to that gunship in ATTE so much. But then you can see the back is that same picture of that random kid that LEGO refuses to change. So there's the instruction manual. Alright guys, so that about concludes my review on the LEGO Star Wars Summer 2013 Homing Spider Droid. This set is awesome, and I remember back in the days when the first Homing Spider Droid came out, when the Clone Wars had just come out, and the Homing Spider Droid was the cheapest Clone Wars set. It was so awesome. I adored that set, and it was really great, you know, to see a revision of this set done, and it's just a fantastic set, and really does bring back a lot of memories of, you know, when I first started here on YouTube. One other thing I want to mention is I kind of wish that we got Adigalia rather than her cousin Stasa Lee, as Adigalia is a more notable Jedi, and Stasa Lee, she only appeared in Order 66 for like a few seconds, so Adigalia, considering she was in many Clone Wars episodes, I think that'd be more appropriate. Just in my personal opinion, but the set is fantastic. You get your money's worth, you get an awesome vehicle, and not to mention, it's a great army builder. You get a clone trooper and 2 super battle droids, you get a dwarf spider droid. It's a great set overall to those of us who absolutely love LEGO Star Wars sets, and Clone Wars sets, or prequel sets to be specific. But if you enjoyed this review or found it informative, be sure to leave this video a like below, as it really does go a long way, and I really do appreciate all of the support, and it really helps in the overall growth of the channel, and I cannot stress that enough. If you'd like to see even more than what you see here on the main channel, be sure to go and check out my Twitter and Facebook. Links to both of those are always in the description below. There I post all kinds of updates and previews on what I'm up to and what's to come for this channel daily, and it's definitely worth checking out, as is my vlog channel, where I post all kinds of vlogs every week, and you get to see what I'm up to. In particular, this time around, I talked about what I will be displaying at Brick Fair, Virginia, and I've showed a big Iron Man 3 mock reveal, and you're not going to see that on this channel for the next couple of weeks or so, so I definitely recommend you check out MGF Extra. Link to that is always in the first link in the description below. So yeah, I think that about does it for this review, guys. Absolutely fantastic set. I recommend it to everyone. Playability is great, though it is unrealistic how it just blows off its main gun as a form of attack. It's really strange, but it's a great set overall, and I definitely recommend it. So I'm going to end it off at that note, and I'm definitely looking forward to reviewing the rest of these sets, and I hope you are as well. So I will see you guys later. Alright.
Bye!
The dome on its head can rotate very nicely. It can go a full 360 degrees. The antenna unfortunately breaks off, as does the head. Easily put a 1x2 tile on either of the legs. Not either, there's 4 of them. Fun little fact is what okay. Now right away, a feature that wasn't on the can rotate a full 360, and I appreciate you standing up, Mr. Spider Droid. Which is on the top of these Homing Spider Droid's drone dome, damn it. Oh, okay, that didn't work. And now it's not even in the shot, so I'm going to move it a little bit, and it's going to... ding. Damn it. Great to get these LEGO set... yeah, sad.